Yeah, guess what, boys and girls? Hello, hi, treason. I forgot everyone. Well, anyway, welcome back to Let's Play The Long Drive. I'm recording this the same day because I don't feel fucking sleepy. I think we do in the game though. Should probably press that button. I'll just sleep out here, there you go. It suddenly occurred to me that we're practically at 2800k. We can probably get to 3000 in the next 4 parts. What just happened? Did we crash? Oh no, we're auto-saving. It was because there was like a pop. So I'm going to look for wheel hubcaps. Fucking bitches. Piss on her. You know what, I'll go a step further. See, I'm lucky. No girls ever wanted to do this to me, so yeah, there you go. That would be worse. But yeah, if I get there before before part 55, we're going to be doing well good. I think really we should start taking bets, like, you know, what was it, if I can't do it in less than 100 parts, I have to watch an episode of Pokemon or something, was it? I don't remember. Is this? Oh, this is a 2105, I don't mind stealing from this piece of shit. Yeah, we'll just put these ones on. Maybe these are a bit more hard wiring, I'm starting to think. But, well, in any case, you know, it was something like that. But yeah, let's you know, place your bets. How many fucking episodes is it going to take to get to the end of the road? What will be the final episode number? And if somebody guesses right, or like at least if 5 people guess right, I will send you a signed CD. Now there won't be anything on it. It'll be a blank CD art. I don't know. I could just burn like my synthesizer music on it or something, I guess. But maybe I just send you a signed CD art without on it. Like. We'll set a limit at 5 people because I'm broke, I don't have any money, I can't afford CDRs right now. It'll sort itself out, it's just because things have cost me a lot of money the past couple of months. You know, I've had a spate of things needing repairs, and it happens every once in a while. Repairs and bills, you know how it goes. Everyone has that same shit, so... But yeah, you know, I'll send a signed CD to you. With probably nothing on it, because I think that would be funny. If you get it right. If you're like one of the first 5 to get it right. I don't even think that I have that many people who'll place their bets, but that's a paddling. So we'll see what happens. Like I say, if someone gets it right, then, well, you know, there you go. And if you get it wrong, you have to, I know, yeah, just, you have to tell me like 10 reasons that I'm, like, brilliant, why I'm so great. Yeah, that'll do. Like, you can totally make it up, I won't hold you to it, you know, just write total bullshit. Like, things I haven't even done, you know. Just say because you climbed Mount Everest that time in, like, under an hour. And made all the so-called professionals look stupid. Wow, this is not fucking polishing up. Are they already polished? They don't look already polished to me. Maybe it is. Ah, I think they're upside down. Yeah, there's your problem right there. Okay, then fuck the sponge. I don't need that shit. Right, now we can carry 2 at once. You can also throw them quite far, you know. Oh god, that one's rolling. We're never getting that back. Hopefully it hits something over there. Rolling, rolling, rolling. I already told you I hate westerns. There probably is some good ones I ain't seen them. I do keep thinking, you know, maybe I should watch some. So they can't all be as bad as I think they are. I'm sure there's some brilliant ones out there, and I'd like to see a good one, because I feel like I should like them, you know. I see the potential there. Don't we fucking lost one, didn't we? Oh, God, no. No, God, please, no. No, no. Oh no, it's in my hands. Well, it was in my arse crack or wherever he keeps his shit, I don't know. How should I know? I'm not the fucking guy in the game. Right, there we go. Now we're fucking getting out of here. Hey, that took us less than 5 minutes, I think, so... Whatever, we're going back on the road now, and we're turning the lights off because we want the frame rate as good as we can. It's definitely getting worse. I think we're hitting that magic spot at last. Yeah, so that's how we'll do it. If you get it right, you get a signed CD. If you get it wrong, you have to write reasons I'm brilliant. And actually, I think I'd prefer it if you did just make shit up, you know? Like, it was just, you know, so I was like your teacher in school and I taught you everything you know about blowjobs or something. Ah, fucking no. All contestants must be 18 or over. But, yeah, you know, that's, we'll do that. Probably no one will get it right because my driving's so awesome. We'll probably finish it by part 60 or something. But yeah, that's it. That's my goal now. Get to... I didn't check the start. It was like 38, wasn't it? Well, just say it was 540. So... I'll just say we want to go to 600. If we can do 620, that would be ideal. That would put us well ahead. Because my goal is to see 3000k on the wild counter before the end of part 54. This is part 51 that we're on. I might have miscalculated. Ah, shit. Yeah, I think I have. Well, I'm still going to go for it. You know, based on my math, that would put us in part 55. But you know what? No, we're going to go for it. We're going to keep this car a bit longer just to fucking go for it. Just to try and get ourselves to 3000k before the end of part 54. I think I can do it. You know, because that gives us what? Part 52, 53, 54. No, actually that is in line with my math. Yeah. Is it? Ah, shit, I don't know, man. It's late. Cut me a break. I'm not a mathematician. I'm totally not a mathematician, but it still makes sense in my head. Jeez, we only done 2k. I feel like we should have done more. I think it's because my brain's racing now, because I'm like excited to see if I can do it. Like I say, I'm confident. I'm real confident. Unless we have some disaster and a rock spawns right in front of me right now and takes my engine out and we have to walk. Like, if nothing like that goes wrong, I think we can do it. If I take a Trabant, it won't happen. Now, really, I should have taken that 2105, but, like I said, we're going to wait, and I said I would drive this car for this part. Just, like, it's at its swan song, I guess this can be its magna opus cartel cum laude, or whatever the fuck it, I don't know. I don't speak Latin. I speak a language that uses bastardised bits of Latin, but... Oh, now that's the sort of fucking disaster I was talking about. What the hell? Something big and yellow came off my car. That headlight's gone. Of course it has. Oh, do we still have the mirrors? There's our hood. Oh, I'm not going to fucking cry over a headlight. I'm not even going to bother putting that back on. It's probably here somewhere, but... Oh, I'll have a quick look, but I'm not going to look very hard for it. Can we see it? That might be it. I didn't lose anything else. This car's back to being an odd bastard. Oh, that's our radio. Oh, we'll have that back, even though we don't use it, just because it's something else to fall off. Yeah, headlight, I'm sure we'll find another one. I'm not turning round. Even though that has turned us... Well, as we're facing that way, we might as well... I'm sure I saw something on my floor. Well, as we're facing that way, we'll drive slightly back up the road, I guess, but... Yeah, I'm not too worried. Where is the... Oh, there we go. Oh, that was within the amount of space it took me to turn around. How convenient. That's what I'm going to say. Burn it. That's what I always say. Burn it all to hell. I can't believe these hubcaps are definitely tougher than them other ones. We're keeping those. That's for fucking certain. That's for fucking certain, boys and girls and lady boys and boy ladies. I don't know. You see more of them now. Yeah, you never you see that quite as much. Like, that's way more common than it used to be. Yeah, that's whatever. You know, thing is, words change meaning. People like, shit, I can't remember where I was going with it. No, we're important, I'm sure. But in any case, yeah, hopefully that isn't a sign of things to come. Yeah, we're nearly 10k into this now. And it's only taken us, like, fucking 11 minutes to get here. Well, yeah, about 5 or 6 minutes really, innit? You know, because we didn't set off for a whole, like, 5 minutes just about. We're fiddling about with wheel trims. We'll do fine. Is that building on the road? There's a... Shit. Now, back on your wheels, buddy. Oh man, the physics don't like it. Fucking sake, really? See, why does tab work on those and not on other things? So what did we lose? 3 hubcaps, the back door. I see 2 hubcaps. I do wonder if it's a game rule of some kind that one has to fall out the wild or something. Because it seems like you always have to find all but one of them. Fuck's sake, mate. So this never happened until recently, did it? This is definitely a recent development. It has to be something to do with precision and like generation or something. It took us ages to find fucking hubcaps. There it is. Probably find we're missing headlights again or something. No, we're not. I think everything else is still on the car. Who knows? Maybe the radio's gone there. Fuck the radio. We're not using it anyway. We've already listened to the most interesting things on there. Right. Can we not crash into things this time? I think it's this version of the car, like looking at it. It seems to be longer. Like, I think the wheelbase is slightly longer than the 2101 on the 2102. And it's when we steer, like the back end, I think it sort of sticks its butt out and it just grazes things. Taking the back bumper off might actually help. Because I think sometimes the hitbox for that, fucking hell, the hitbox for that is like snagging the rock. And it's starting to make me think I shouldn't even steer around them, I should just hit them full on and just take the ketchup. My parts are less likely to fly off into the distance at least. And this does go up to those double tower buildings. So there's the thing, is that 2 buildings connected by a bridge, or is that bridge considered part of the building and therefore it's one building? Ooh, sounds a bit dodgy. Is my door not shut right? Oh no, it is now. Well, I'm not going to them buildings, so I don't need anything from them. Well, I don't know what's going on, but it's all fucking dodgy. Definitely think there's a precision issue with the generation. Like hitboxes maybe act, you know, it may be minuscule, but it's maybe just enough. Because it does seem these things get worse the farther out you get. I mean, how much road have we travelled down now? I don't know, about 2,793 kilometres of it, I guess. Whatever that is in miles. Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't figure that out for you. And we'll say we've done 3,000 kilometres, I guess, already, just to make it easier. So 1,000 kilometres should be about 600 miles. So we should have done, what, nearly 1800 miles or something. Yeah, we'll say we've done about 1800 miles. That sort of feels right, because, you know, I know it's about 3,000 miles to the end of the road, so saying about 1800 feels about right for where we should be. I don't think that is anything I want. It's another tower building. I guess we're going to get loads of those now. Still, based on what we've seen recently and on past experiences, it seems that things are more likely to be at buildings that are away from the road now. And that's interesting, and that now we've learnt that, we can maybe use that to our advantage. Maybe it's just luck, but maybe that is how the game mechanics work. I've had enough driving at night times. We're not doing it on this terrain. Car, stop. Brakes are awful on the 2102, they really are. Now we continue our drive. Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head. But it's a bit late for that, fucking hell. In any case, we've done a lot of road. Fuck. If there wasn't a bunch of sea, we'd be most of the way to fucking Crete from where I fucking live by now. Yeah, I think... Well, I don't know, it might be a bit farther. Yeah, you know, if there was a road the whole way, you probably could get from my house to Cyprus, like, doing a bit over 2,000 miles, so... We'll say Cyprus then. Yeah. Fucking hell, we have driven quite some way, haven't we? Now, some people have said that what we're driving in is actually the Atlantic Ocean, so, you know, we could be driving from Europe to America, maybe. I'm not so sure, I don't think this was an ocean. I have no explanation for how the boats got here. We don't know what happened to the world. There might have been a huge tidal wave, you know. The aliens might have put them there. We don't know if the terrain looked like this, like, you know, all the time. There could have been canals and they've just, like, you know, sort of eroded away, you know. We just don't know. There's no water anywhere in the game, so, you know, logically waterways had to exist at one time. Thing is, the radio guy sort of suggests it's only been like 2 or 3 decades since whatever happened, so that makes it a bit more confusing. I would go more with there being a huge tidal wave or something rather than us driving on the bed of an ocean. I suppose it's open to interpretation. I quite like the fact the game isn't clear on it. You know, that you're just left to come up with your own idea. And I think it should stay that way. You know, I don't think that there should be a thing in the game that tells you every little detail. Like, as the developer, it's alright, you know, for him to have, like, what he thinks happened and to maybe leave little clues behind, but I'd like, you know, it'd be a bit abstract and figure it out. I mean, I have that, you know, when I come up with things, you know, there's things in my books that are never explained, but I know the answers, I'm just not going to write them down. I'm going to leave the reader to maybe figure that out, and they might come to a different conclusion. That doesn't matter. You know? That's kind of the intention, that they might read it differently to how, you know, it was in my head. And there are a couple of times where, as the thing I'll tell you is, like in like a book I wrote, where the characters are having a conversation. Two characters are having a conversation, but unbeknownst to them, they're kind of having two different conversations. Because they're both approaching it from, thinking it's a completely different thing is happening, sort of thing. They're both running on second-hand information that they've interpreted a different way, but their conversations sort of general enough that the reader might interpret it in a third way, or might just interpret it in the way only one of the characters does. They might realise, that the characters are actually not quite seeing eye to eye. They're not on the same page, even though they are, because it's a book. And it's kind of awkward to just randomly place dialogue from a conversation that was on the previous page, or 100 pages back. Well, unless you like, having them remembering it or something, but I don't do that. Well, not in that way. Like, occasionally the main character remembers things that happened in the past, and that has dialogue in it. But it's generally not referring to things that are anywhere else in the book. Oh, my stomach's getting mad at me. It's emptying. That's good. I can't go to sleep if there's really anything left in my stomach. That's why I'm still playing, because I knew this would come, and it's worse when I'm laid down. It is steadily improving. It's probably going to get pissed at me today, because I ate quite a bit of junk yesterday. I ate a little bit of junk today. I've said before, I've not been able to really eat for over a year, to be honest, and so now that I kind of can, I'm going to enjoy it, even if it makes me feel a little bit shit. I just want to eat stuff that tastes like something, because I was on such bland food for so fucking long, and it didn't taste of anything, It wasn't nice to eat. I was eating it just for sustenance. It was, oh god, it's awful. I hate it. It's horrible. It looked like there was a hubcap on the road just behind and, just before and left of where that big rock was. But yeah, so like I say, you do the same. If you couldn't eat like chocolate or crisps or whatever for that long, or anything that actually had flavour, once you can do it again, you probably are going to go a bit overboard. And I'm not that bothered, because I totally need to gain some weight. And even if I go a bit too far with that, doesn't really, see, now we can't drive over them little ones either. But that doesn't bother me if I go a bit too far, because my body's actually pretty good at turning fat into muscle. Like, if I put some weight on and then start exercising, like, moderately, I don't push until it hurts. I don't think that's good for you. I push until it's just short of hurting. And that seems to work for me. But yeah, my body is actually pretty good at, if I put fat on and then start exercising, I'll sort of feel a bit shit at first, but, after a couple of weeks, I stop feeling shit, and it just starts turning into fucking muscles. And I don't tend to get real big muscles, but if I get muscle in my arms, it doesn't look big. It's not like a boxer's muscles. Mine tend to be quite long and flat. They're still quite strong. They're just not necessarily as speedy. They're not for like short bursts of energy like that. They're more for performing over time, sort of thing. I can pick something heavy up and move it. I'm just not going to do it very quickly, but it's not going to hurt me or feel particularly difficult, sort of thing. But it won't feel nice if I try to do it fast. Whereas some people's muscles, they tend to be like shorter and like, stick out more, and they tend to be more adapted for like short bursts, where they'd be able to pick the thing up and fling it, but if they do that a few times, they're just going to get knackered. Whereas when I put muscle on, and I get in shape, I can just do stuff all fucking day, and it doesn't it's not really going to get any worse the whole time. I can just keep going. I'll get more done than someone like that. I just won't do it as quick, you know. It's like you put me on I'm faster on a bicycle than most people, but you put me on a bicycle next to someone like that, they're going to tear off at probably a good bit faster than I am. And then they're going to wear out, and I will do a decent speed, and I will just do that decent speed, like for fucking however many hours straight. Whereas they'll have to keep stopping and stuff, you know, it's... Oh, God. On the wheels, please. It did as well. Cool. That was a bit of a slide. Let it go. That was weird, it wouldn't respond to the gas pedal. It's not that, is it? Nah. Now it fell off in here? Nah. Alright, we're good to go. I'm gonna say, I thought the post would... Yeah. You know, that is... everybody's body works differently. I have throughout my life been reasonably strong physically, so I don't like being out of shape, you know, I don't like being what I would consider weak. But like I say, I tend to be able to get it back pretty fast, you know, I've been in this position before. And once my stomach and everything heals enough that, you know, I have been doing more physical stuff lately. And I'm not feeling too bad from it, so once my stomach is healed enough that I can, you know, start pedalling decent distances on a bike and walking around a lot more and wrenching things around and whatever else, then it does tend to come back fairly quickly. Not as quick as it used to, because I've been on the planet a few decades now, and as you get older, your ability to gain these things and keep them gets a little bit harder. You know, you have to put a bit more work in. Your body isn't really, it's not growing anymore, so it doesn't have all the fucking hormones and pheromones and enzymes and shit in the quantities that had produced them when you were a child, you know. You know, say the fat kid in class, when you're like, say, 12 or something, it can be a right lard arse. And then if he starts, like, you know, just fucking walking a couple of miles every day, like, usually, yeah, everybody's metabolism's different, but usually, you know, he'll start getting in shape a lot faster than somebody my age would. Like, say if I got, like, lard-arsed and started doing the same thing, like, the effect would be slower on me to what it would have been on me when I was that age. As it is, I've only been fat one time in my life, and it was quite... Oh shit, I didn't even hit anything that time. At least we missed the post. Yeah, that was just a fucking collision bug that nipped us there. Fucking hell, it's bottoming out all the time now. Yeah, that was when I was about 13, 14, somewhere around there. Like, I'd always grown upwards quite consistently. Like, you know, I was always tall, and I just sort of grew at a fairly constant rate. And then going into my teens, I stopped getting taller, and I was like, what, am I just going to stop growing at about 5'9"? Like, I was like 5'9" for fucking ages, and I just put loads of weight on, like, you know, I got fat. And I was like, what, I've always been real skinny, like, how's this happened? It wasn't like I wasn't, you know, doing physical exercise, I was still riding my bike tons. Like, I didn't feel out of shape or anything, I just got big. And I was like, this is weird, like, why is this happening? And all of a sudden, like, I started getting massive pains all over the place. And I must have grown, like, you know, 4 inches or so in, like, only the space of a few weeks. And it all pulled back in. Like, I stayed the same weight, but I wasn't fat anymore, and I got stretch marks up my side. Because I grew that quickly. And that was it. It was just rapid growth up to about 6'4", and then it stopped, and I've not grown since. And to be honest, I'd like to have stayed at 5'11", you know. That height felt alright. It's a bit less scary to the local women. They don't like tall men where I come from. They don't like men who are tall and have deep voices and have self-worth and confidence. That frightens them, and they open it's that scary. You're scary, you're too tall, it frightens me. Your voice is too deep, it frightens me. You said no to me, I don't like that. Like, you know, that worries me. You know, it's like, that shouldn't worry you. You've been stupid. How old are you? Like 5 or something? But no, it's not because of that. You know, I'd not mind being a bit shorter than I am just because it actually heart spin this height. It puts a lot of stress on your back. It puts a lot of stress on your heart. You smash your head on everything. Your ankles hurt. I can't stand still for more than a few minutes because my feet are that fucking far away. Stop making it sound like I'm outside. You know, your feet are that far away that if you're standing still, the blood can't fucking come back up and it all just pools in your feet and they start turning black. And so you'll never see me stand still. I don't do it. I tend to sort of walk in circles if I have to stand still for a long time. And that people think, you know, oh, he's been aggressive, you know, he's agitated. It's like, well, I'm actually not. I just can't fucking stand still because my feet start fucking, you know, feeling really dodgy. They'd be like wrapping like a belt real tight around them, you know, like around your ankles to cut off the blood. I start getting that fucking pins and needles and shit. And there's nothing wrong with me, it's just because I'm so tall that when I'm stood still, you know, the blood doesn't fucking come back up fast enough. It obviously does make it round, it's not completely cutting off, but it's enough that it's, you know, it's not doing any good. Magna cum laude. Who the fucking who came up with that? My sister comes loud when I'm ramming her. She fucking screams the fucking house down. Wakes her neighbours up. Not as much as my cousin, but still, you know. And not as much as your mother and sister and whoever else, I don't know. Just female relative, just fucking apply the correct one. We probably are driving a bit too fast, aren't we? I mean, stop anywhere because night time. I ain't driving in the night time, you know, I'm not. I do love it when you get the orange and the cloud cover blowing over it. It does look pretty neat. That shadow, until we moved forwards, that was on the right, looked like some sort of giant marquee from it. No, it's doing it now. It's not quite as orange, but you see how the clouds come over real fast in the orange? It makes it look like you're in a fire. There are many ways to get into the fire. There are many ways to lose control. But you've got to feel to get into the fire. Well, you can dance. You are now dancing with the fire, into the night. The light is shining in the night. It's always going to be alright, no matter if you're black or white. Gotta keep on dreaming. What else do I... fucking hell, no, I'm running out of shit 90s songs. Actually, one of those isn't a 90s song. It's styled like a 90s song, but it's not from the 90s. There's a few records like that. There's like a few people in the world who don't seem to have realised that the 90s has ended. You know, and they've just kept making Eurodance. Now, if you're a connoisseur like me, you can usually pick up on it. You'll hear that there's something different about it. You know, it's like, not enough Corgo 1 in this. Like, there's something that's trying to sound like one and doing a good job. The fact they usually put it through an Akai sampler back then instead of using the synth, the Canadians used the synth directly back then, but the Europeans generally didn't. Europeans are poor and probably had like one floppy disk to work with and fit the whole sequence and set of samples on it. It's probably why. Because you used to record the sample like an octave or two higher as well, and it gave it this particular sort of like crummy crunchiness to it, and it's very sort of distinct to Akai's sample engine, you know, like the S series does have this distinct sound to it, and if you're using something else, well, it will sound the same, and if you've heard it enough, you will pick up on it. That is loud. I'm sorry if that's too loud for you. It shouldn't be, but physics has definitely been... What the fuck did we break glass? I almost feel like there's something loose in my car. Steering was awful then. I was half expecting to realise we'd lost a mirror somewhere or something. But yeah, you know, it's you can pick up on it if you're familiar with it. Can we please stop that? Does it do that if I move my head back? It does. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I usually get that so bad on this car. You get it loads on those trucks, but not on these cars usually. Yeah, Canadian Eurodance is weird. Like 90s Canadian Eurodance, it has its own sound. And is it really Eurodance? I mean, Canadians are essentially European, they're just not in Europe, you know, they're on the American continent, but Canadians are descended from people on the European continent generally. It's like French people and Scottish people, and it's probably English people, and probably other countries, you know, that are in Europe, but it's probably Danish over there to some extent. They seem to get everywhere. That's the thing, like, is it really Eurodance if it's not coming out of Europe? Like, I often wonder that. And it does sound distinctly different. Like, every country does sort of have its own sound. Like, the Canadian stuff always... It doesn't... It's like on the release of Nerds isn't as instant. It's not as snappy and jerky as the European music is. Because it's coming straight out of the synth. They don't really play with the envelopes, and even then the Korga one doesn't lend itself in quite the same way as the Akai does. Again, it's a very distinct thing about Akai S samplers, is the way the release sounds on Nerds. You know, it's different to how the synthesizer they were sampling actually tends to do it. And it's quite subtle, but you can pick up on it. The Canadian music tends to sound more mushy as a result. You can tell that the synth's playing in the correct octave. It's not a sample of it that's been slowed down. You know, it's pretty weird like that. Italian stuff you usually pick up on. Like, there's not tons and tons of Italian Eurodance out there, but when you do find it, you can usually pick up on it. Because it always has this really sort of belligerent sort of beat to it. Like the bass line and everything, it sort of sounds like a bunch of Roman soldiers marching at high speed down a street, is the best way I can describe it, compared to like the German stuff, you know, for example. The German bass lines tend to be a little bit more rubbery. They tend to stay on the same octave a little bit more. You know, you always get that sort of little double tap. You know, the Italian stuff is usually has something else layered on top of it, and so it's. So it tends. You'll still get like the little fucking bubba in it that you get, because most Eurodance has that somewhere in its bass line, but there's way more emphasis placed on like beats that are kind of an even space apart. So you just get this sort of. It really does have this sort of marchiness to it, and I quite like it. I don't think I've ever found any Spanish Eurodance. I found one song that might be Spanish, and I cannot confirm if it is or not, so... yeah, I don't think they were into it. Found some Finnish stuff. That's very uncommon. I mean, it did come out of Germany originally, as far as I know, Eurodance, and they do seem to have made more of it than everywhere else. British stuff's weird because we didn't make a lot of it, and a lot of the British stuff I know of was done under Italian record labels. And that's kind of odd just because it sounds like the Italian stuff, but a little bit more sort of scratchy, maybe. Instruments tend to have a bit of a drier sound. There's not quite as much wet signal. The Italians tend to lace it full of wet signal. You know, the chorus of it, like the wave duplicator and stuff, is cranked a lot higher in like the actual Italian stuff than the British records that are done on Italian labels. So for such a sort of cheap, tacky genre of music, there is a surprising amount of variety to be found in it. It's all pretty bad, you know. I'd never ever say that Eurodance was like particularly classy music or that it was even particularly good. But I don't think that's any reason to not enjoy it, you know. I enjoy listening to it. Did that just go through the road? You saw my hubcap there, right? No, that was weird. It looked like it did. Was that like an issue with rendering? Who knows? We've pretty much made our target here, you know. And we have only a handful of minutes left. So as long as nothing horrible happens, it's actually going quite well, this part. What was it? Did I want to get to 6:20 or something? I think we can do it. We have like 3 minutes left or something to do 4K. That should be easy. You know, we could just stop at just over 120k. Oh god, it's this auto-saving messages. This happens sometimes. This could be quite bad. The game has been buggy today. I went to go and take a massive leak between the previous part and this one, but I don't think I switched application or anything while I was gone. Because, I mean, that can upset most any game, really. Yeah, I know what that's about. Hopefully we find a building in the next couple of minutes. Oh, shit. Oh, come on, I'd already gone past it, you cunt. Wow, this is really bottoming out. Then again, I call these biomes quarries, I don't know why. These mud biomes. I don't know what these are officially called, because they're not available on the menu at the start of the game. They're probably a variant of the grass biome. Because we don't seem to get cactuses in them, do we? I know cacti is the right plural, I just don't use it to piss on people's nerves. Oh, this might just line up. I don't think it will. Shit. Well, you know what? It'll line up close enough for me. We could just drive around it in circles a couple of times, or... What's that out there? Well, there's a radio tower out there. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive to that radio tower, and then drive back. Yeah, what do you think of that? Is that cheating? Ah, there you go, we've been to the radio tower. Wow, it's a radio tower, alright. That was worth coming to look at, wasn't it? I guess now we better go and check out that workshop at the start of the next part. Oh, come on, you know I could drive that far down the road, like... It's like fucking, what? 600-700 metres? Okay, we're pretty much dead on target and on time, so... Ooh, heck. Should we be doing that? Wow, it's acting weird. Whoa. Camera bugged out. I don't know if I like this. Well, yeah, am I treason? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Let's see what the game says our total distance is. What are we up to? 48? 49? 48. There we go. We're not on the clock anymore once we're in this menu, I always argue. So this was part 51, and we are at 2866. 2866. So we did about 84 kilometres in this one. I'd consider that a win. My treason, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta.